Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Lowest Absolute coming to you live from the tribe. Welcome to day two, class two. Today we're talking about scanning your environment and why that's important. We're talking about scanning your environment and why that's important. Ladies and gentlemen, it is important for us to understand what do I mean by scanning your environment? What does that mean? Does that mean like you just look around, you just like pay attention to what everyone else is doing, you pay attention to what you're doing? Or is it something deeper? This is the question we need to answer. We need to ask and answer ourselves. We're always taught to pay attention. We're always taught to pay attention to this person, that person. I mean, we have whole industries dedicated for you to pay attention to them, to words, to text, to images, to video, to sound, to the noises that you hear, to other people's complaints, gossips, focus, attention. This is where the focus is. But the real question is, where we are putting our focus and our attention. Are we putting our focus and attention on what other people are doing, or are we putting our focus and attention on what's important? Scanning your environment, what I mean is what? Be observant, number one. Just look around you. Observe just means look around. Pay attention to what's happening around you. Always pay attention to what's happening around you. No matter how insignificant or random it may seem, it's still very relevant and very important for you to pay attention to that. And it's important for you to really just understand the importance of you noticing things that are out of the ordinary, things that are weird, things that are bizarre. For example, I noticed today, I was coming back, went to go get some coffee, and then I came back to the car, and then this guy was just sitting next to my car. He wasn't on my car, just next to it near my car. I thought that was weird because it's like, okay, you're looking on your phone when the sun is the brightest. 9 out of 10 times when people look at the phone, unless they have extreme high resolution, you're looking at your phone when it's the brightest. Why are you sitting there in the middle of the freaking parking lot? That was weird and bizarre. And the lady on the left-hand side of me, I don't know what the hell she was doing. She was there too, outside her car. And they were both facing my car. So I was just like, what the hell is this dude up to? So I just went, I made sure before I even unlocked my door, I just opened up the mirror, went to the driver's side, and I unlocked it and got the fuck in. And I paid close attention to what the fuck he was doing. I know people say that's weird, that's bizarre, that's paranoid, that's way over the top. What are you doing? No, you need to be aware because we live in a very, 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 very dangerous time. Today at work, I wasn't paying attention, and then my jacket went missing. My jacket got jacked. Why? Because I wasn't paying attention to my environment. I wasn't being observant of those who are around me. I was so comfortable. When we get comfortable, that's the problem. We get comfortable. We want to trust everyone. I want to trust you because, oh, you look like a nice person. You look like you weren't hurting anyway. You cannot tell what these people are about. Do not be deceived by people's smiles, their giggles, their joking, their laughing. They will take shit from you. Secretly. People always put up the front of they want to be your friend. People always put up the front of, oh, well, I'm your friend. Or, when they try to be too friendly or nice, pay attention to that. Be observant of that. Because 9 out of 10 times when people are in the dark, their real selves come out. That includes me, you, everybody on this fucking planet. Even with this whole election thing. Be observant. Not be observant who's the president or who's going to get elected or who's going to get in office. People are too focused on that. They're not focusing on who's the wild card, who's waiting in the wings, who's really pulling the strings. That's what you want to pay attention to. This is what I mean by scanning your environment. Also, what I mean by scanning your environment, besides observing your environment, is feel what the environment is telling you. A lot of times you can walk into an environment and you can feel something's off. You can feel when it's really quiet or it's really loud or it's really there's a certain type of energy in every single environment. I don't care if you're at a park, a grocery store, your house, your neighborhood. You feel that tension or release in an environment. Sometimes you walk in an environment, it feels really good. You know, you feel like, oh, everyone's like really, because I pay attention to when people respond to me. Pay attention to that, scanning your environment. Also means, you know, scanning the energy and the reading the negative or positive energy signature people emit. We all emit energy. We're all energy frequency beings. We're all energy generators, operators, and directors. We direct, operate, and generate energy. That's it. I mean, that's what money is. Money is currency. What is currency? Energy. And that's the problem. But that's also the solution. Because a lot of times we wonder why we keep drawing people who are negative or who are this, who are that, because we're not paying attention to the energy around us. We're not scanning our environment. Okay? Also, to pay attention to how people behave. People, as in, like, how people treat you. Pay attention to that. It's very important when you walk into an environment. Notice how people are very either receptive to you, they're hostile to you, or they're cautious of you, which is normal. But pay attention. If they're outright hostile to you, pay attention to that. They try to get you to get drunk, get high, do shit you would never do in your normal character, in your normal state. Pay attention to that. Don't ignore it. Don't just gloss over it and be like, oh, they're just trying to. I remember one time I was working at the radio station and one of my coworkers was like, yeah, you should go out with them. When we go out and get drunk or whatever, they're gonna turn you. I was like, no, they fucking ain't. They're not gonna turn me. And then as soon as she said that, I was just like, oh, nope. They're very two-faced. Misery loves company. So it tries to do everything in its part to make sure that company is miserable like them. Because if you're uplifting, if you're doing something opposite, if you're doing something positive, they don't fucking like that. This is why I remember when I first working at the bar. One of my cousins, like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, he's just like, yeah, you know, I don't know, you know, you seem like a cool guy. Like, you should come and get high with us. You should come and, you know, get fucked up. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You spend 8 hours dealing with people who are fucked up, high, out of their fucking mind, and you want to go and do the same fucking shit they just did. I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. It's like you tell everyone else, no, you can't do that. You get paid to do that, and then you tell them no, but yet you go and do it yourself. That's a contradictory. That's a contrasting or contradictory statement. Not like a verbal, just verbal statement. It's an energetic statement, a thought statement. Like what is that? That right there, scanning your environment. That's a part of scanning your environment. Being aware. That's another point. Be aware of people's intentions. You can read people's intentions. No one has to fucking tell you. You just have to absorb reality. Or at least a willingness to absorb reality. I know, reality fucking sucks. You got to deal with the realness of people. You got to deal with the ugliness of people. You got to deal with the beauty and the beast of people. People's personalities. They go through some shit. They on some shit. You know? That's just what it is, man. And that's the whole point. Pay attention to, like, you know, especially if you come to work or whatever, pay attention to the vibe. If you notice people are real quiet today, pay attention to that. Don't ignore it. Don't just be like, oh, it's a coincidence. It's an happenstance. It's, you know, something that's random. I didn't think that was going to happen. No. Remember, your environment's always communicating to you. People around you are always communicating to you. The question is, are you paying attention to that shit? Or you just ignoring it? You just think like, oh, it's oblivious. That's the problem. We've been taught to be like, oh, we've been taught to focus on big, flashy, obnoxious. We've been taught to focus on big, flashy, and obnoxious. We have not been taught to focus on minute, detailed, subtle. Minute, detailed, subtle. Focus on the minute, detail, and subtlety. Pay attention to that stuff. When they, you know, people put those offhand comments or backhanded comments, don't say it straight to your face. Like one of my coworkers, like, he insults me to my face. We laugh about it, we joke about it, and we talk shit to each other. You know, but that's the beauty of it. You know, at least he does it to your face. He's not backhanded. He doesn't, you know, see. Yeah, I have a lot of that. I deal with a lot of that. The whole backhanded, like, oh, well, I'm going to fucking insult you behind your back. No. Come to my face and insult me. You got to go to I have grown-ass men and women, twice my fucking age, 20 years my senior, complaining to a fucking manager. I don't fucking understand it. Like, this is why I can't understand I don't understand the whole corporate shit. Like, I don't want to deal with the corporate shit. I just want to eliminate you. That's how I feel in my heart. I just want to eliminate you. Like, take you out. We're done. Like I've done at the other places. I've just eliminated people. I didn't go to the manager. I didn't bitch and complain to the manager. What did I do? I handled it. By what? Scanning my environment. I remember one time one of my ex-coworkers came in to work at a new place. I was working at the mall, and her vibe was just fucking off, bro. Her vibe was fucking hostile, mad, upset. I don't know the fuck happened. I think her mansy man fucking cheated on her. I don't know what the fuck happened, but she was pissed as a motherfucker. She was pissed, and she came in. She was pissed. Very short. Her voice was very short. She was very hot-tempered. She was very impatient. She was pacing back and forth, like she didn't want to be there. And it's funny because after my manager interviewed her, my manager came to me, "Hey, what do you think about this person?" Like, I feel like she's very hostile. She didn't want to be here. Very short, direct. No. People read that. People read energy. See, that's the thing. People think it's about you opening up your mouth, you running it, you saying all this shit. No, it's not about all that shit, okay? It's about you reading body language. That's another thing. When people express scanning your environment is about reading body language. Read that body language. People communicate more than one ways. People communicate with their body language, meaning they let their body do the talking for how they really feel about you. Instead, again, reading people's body language. People use their body language to communicate to you of how they feel about you, or about the environment, or about their job. If you notice somebody keeps coming around, maybe they feel something about you. They're trying to communicate that in a very subtle way. But, I struggle with that because I don't pay attention to that. I'm just like, oh, whatever. Like, because the reason why I don't acknowledge it, maybe I should, that's where I need to practice and get better at. It's because I feel as me being a brother in an environment where they don't appreciate you, see very few of us. That's for a reason. Me addressing that, especially when it comes to like female attraction or whatever, I tend to not address it because I've seen the negative results of that, and that drives my thinking, my feeling, and my behavior not to touch that. I've seen so many negative things come out of that. And in a place of employment, because I was raised, you don't shit where you eat. You don't lie where you eat. You don't shit where you eat. And you don't fuck up where you eat. This is where I eat. So I don't have time for that. Like I know people are like, oh, well, just get their, they're so all about getting the fucking number. Getting the number, it's cool. That's what we're supposed to do. Men, we hunt. I know people don't like that, but it's the fucking truth. We hunt. We're hunters. We're hunters. We're gatherers. We're builders. We're hunters. We're builders. And we're warriors. That's what we do. We're hunters. We're builders. And we're warriors. That's what men do. That's our nature. Hunters, builders, and warriors. That's what we do. We do it well. But a lot of times we get shamed out for being masculine. And we get shamed out, or women get shamed out for being feminine. Like, why? Why are you so afraid of their femininity? Like, where did kids come from? Oh, yeah, women. Yeah. Don't forget that, pagans. I get it, boundaries, but back to what I was saying, scanning your environment. Scanning your environment is reading body language. Also, too, tone of voice. Pay attention to the tone of voice that people talk to you with. They talk to you very stern. That means they're angry. They talk to you very sarcastically. That means disrespect. Like I said, the example I used yesterday. This one lady, she was talking to me very sarcastically. In the car, I was just like, okay, we're done. I dismissed her energy because I don't need that energy. I don't need to be hanging around your energy. I prefer to remove myself from that. And scanning your environment is important for you as far as, especially when you're selected as a target. What do I mean by selected as a target? Selected as a target means what? People purposely single you out because they think they can take you. They think they can intimidate you. They think they can take you. They think they can rob you. They think they can take advantage of you. They think they can do all the negative things they have in their brains and their creative imaginations to you because they've been programmed. They themselves allow themselves to be programmed, watching, viewing, observing other people do it, and they think, oh, I can do this fucking same thing. Then one else gets caught. No, it's called karma. It may not happen for a long time, but that day will come, that evil day will come, where all your bad shit comes to the fucking surface. All the bad shit that happens to other people, their day will come too. That's just how this universe works. Energetic equivalence. What do I mean by energetic equivalence? Whatever energy you put out, you get. So if I put out negativity, I receive negativity. If I put out positivity, I receive a positive. If I put out neutrality, I receive neutrality. So it's up to you. Tone of voice, like I said. Pay attention to how people talk to you. Now, how's and tone of voice. Do they treat you? Do they speak to you with respect as an equal, or they talk down to you? Like this one lady did it. I was at the bar, and I seated like 3 or 4, 6 or 7 different people, and she was like, "Well, you should have told us, like, you said, she said, you said, it'd be faster for us to get in the window takeout line." Yeah, it is. But you crossed her name? Like, yeah, I did. But you didn't keep up? No, I didn't. Because you wanted to go the takeout window. She was like, oh, da-da-da. She's like, well, you see it in them? Well, yeah, there. She said, you told them it'll be 30 minutes, and it was less than 30. Yeah, I tell everyone that. See? You see that? I told her. I tell everyone that. See? Scan your environment. Check the fucking tone. And I checked her tone. I was like, no, I did it in a respectful and peaceful manner, but I just dismissed her. I said, yeah, I tell everyone that. Like, I'm not in control of what happens. I tell everyone that because that's just the truth. That's what happens. I'm not going to give you like some unrealistic bullshit like, oh, it's 15 minutes and then it's like 45 fucking minutes. That's 30 minutes. I have to give you something realistic. Anything can change at any time. I'm not in control of that. So you either want to get a table or not. She said, oh, that's okay. Yeah, of course that's okay. Check the tone. People want to do that whole disrespect because I have economic privilege. No, motherfucker. Just because you have economic privilege, I have economic privilege as well. It may not come in the same package or fashion like you, but I do have economic privilege. Why do I have economic privilege? Name, niche, and narrative. Everyone has that. Everyone is a walking CEO, Chief Executive Office, Chief Executive Officer. What does that mean? I'm the head honcho of my life. My life is my business. My business is my life. Busyness. Okay? Busy investing in myself. Okay? Creating for myself. And this is a part of scanning your environment. But didn't scan your environment. But little kids in the background. But it's just what it is, man. It's just like, for example, when I always come home, there's always this one kid. He always rides his bike, like, around me. I'm like, what the heck is this kid doing? And like clockwork, dude. He just stares at me. I'm like, why is this guy staring at me? What's up with this guy? Is that a threat? What is scanning your environment? The littlest things can turn into the biggest headaches or problems if it's not first recognized, observed, and solved. Like, you gotta solve that, man. You can't solve what people are gonna do, but you have to resolve in your brain, hey, this dude does this, and this, I'm gonna put him in check. That's what the fuck is gonna happen. Resolve it in your head, your heart, and your gut, and your feeling, and your actions. That's what leads you to act with clarity, confidence, and certainty, and that's the whole point of that. So real quick, when scanning your environment, it's important for us to understand why we scan our environment. Why do we scan our environment? To just, pay attention to what people are doing, to be nosy, to just, look at what people are doing? No, our job to scan our environment is to what? be able to listen to what the environment is saying by observing, to make a decision on what needs to be done, and to be proactive. Most important, to be proactive. When you see a problem, solve a problem. When you see something, say something. But solve the problem before it escalates and becomes bigger. Number two, the reason why it's important to scan your environment is it teaches you how to be aware of what's going on, paying attention to subtle detail. Details result in big actions. Little actions result in big actions. But in order for you to stop big actions, like somebody coming up to you, rob you, steal, kill, whatever they want to do in their brain, you have to recognize the little detail. And number three, it's important because predators are everywhere. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go home, get on your computer, type in meganslaw.com, meganslaw.com, and I want you to look up, I think it's called sex offenders in your neighborhood. Something like that. Sex offenders in your neighborhood. I want you to type in your street address or a city or city you've been to at least, and see how many people are really around you. I can't. Around mine, shit, over 300. That's all I'm gonna fucking say. I'm not gonna tell you where I live, but over 300. I was not aware of that. That's called scanning your environment too. Being aware of who's around you by looking up data online. Go look that shit up. This is why it's important. People say, oh, well, you're being nosy. Yeah, you're being fucking nosy. So you have to know who you're fucking dealing with. Remember, you have to, like a speaker, message audience. You have to, as a speaker, you have to identify your audience. As the same thing, you have to identify the individuals in your environment. You have to identify who's in your environment, what type of mentality you're dealing with, who you're dealing with. You're dealing with a lot of predators. I mean, people who don't respect other people. You mean you're dealing with people who don't respect other people, who don't give a shit, and who take what they want because they feel fucking entitled to do that. Because we live in a state where that shit is permitted. To a point where apparently people feel so fucking emboldened. You cannot sit there and tell me these people are registered, okay? And they still feel emboldened to do all this craziness. Because look up the last year of conviction. If it's a year ago, you got a problem. 2 years, a year, 2 years, 3 years, you got a problem. 5 years, no. Anything 1, 2, and 3, you got a problem, dude. And you got to address that. So you have to be aware of that at a very deeper level. Okay, this is a part of scanning your environment. The third part is to be proactive. Be aware that people are going to approach you. Be aware, especially if you see on the website, you say, I see a lot of this shit. Approaching minors, violating minors. What the fuck? That means a lot of child abuse going on. A lot of it. I live in a fucking state where they promote this shit. I live in a state where they promote this shit. Go to New Hampshire, they don't promote this shit. At least that would think. We're different shit. They don't promote that shit. I'm seeing it with my own 2 eyes. This is why, especially if you're a parent or if you're a guardian, you need to fucking check yourself. You need to check your kids, man. So always be paying attention to your environment. I don't care how minute or little the detail. If that detail rubs you the wrong way, pay attention to that. A lot of times these little things that rub us the wrong way, and we just ignore it. We think, oh, well, you're just being a coward, a pussy, a bitch nigga. No, you're not being a bitch nigga. That's called your intuition talking to you, but you ain't ignoring it. But the Cosmic Watcher and his friends are telling you, oh, well, you're being a bitch. No. Because the Cosmic Watcher and his friends purposely go out of their way to make sure you don't pay attention to what's really going on. Because if you start paying attention to the minute detail, remember, the devil is always in the details. The devil is always in the details, man. So pay attention to the details. That's what scanning your environment is about. Hopefully you find this information helpful, beneficial, and empowering. Brothers, sisters, behave.